Began as a comic strip for the Malayalam Manorama newspaper, Balarama saw a breakthrough record of circulation in the year when a new character story introduced into the comic magazine. Mayavi built a lot of hype in the early 80s in Kerala when Balarama was in its initial phase of becoming a well-established comic magazine. Today, Mayavi is a well-known name in the households of Kerala, but it was actually much more than that for the millennials. A generation which grew up without technologies and internet relied more on print media for the weekly entertainment. The main protagonist Mayavi in the series is a good devil or a demon who gets free from the slavery of a witch, Dakini. Mayavi helps his friend Raju and Radha, a sister-brother duo who often falls into a certain difficult situations created by the villainous characters in it. Mayavi was first introduced into Balarama on 1984, and it was N.M. Mohan who moved to Balarama as an editor-in-chief and created the iconic Mayavi series. Just like Spider-Man was to Marvel Comics and Superman and Batman was to DC Comics, Mayavi was the selling name for Balarama at that time. Gradually, Mayavi became a comic book star and became a flagship character of Balarama and became one of the well-known illustrated protagonists in the state. Story begins with Raju and Radha finds Mayavi who is trapped inside a bottle. Later the kids helps Mayavi out of that bottle and marks it as a beginning of their friendship. The story also introduces the readers to an old evil witch named Dakini, whose sole purpose is to enslave the powerful Mayavi again to carry out her evil plans. And she can go to any extent for that. As per the later publication portrayals, Raju and Radha often get imprisoned by Dakini. The kid summons Mayavi using the spell Om Shrim Kutichata, and Mayavi helped them the way out of it. Not only Dakini, but Mayavi and kids dealt with monstrous wild animals, thieves, smugglers and bullying kids. Similar kind of content and situational stories was the backdrop of Mayavi series. This was how the writer continued with the story for an year. But in an issue of 1985, a few more characters were introduced into the story. Among them was the iconic Luttapi and Kuttusen, who made their debut. Kuttusen was a dark wizard and friend of Dakini who lived inside a tree trunk, and Luttapi was just an ally. However, Luttapi went on to become one of the most favorite characters to the readers. Some of the story displayed that he was not in good terms with his allies Kuttusen and Dakini. His clumsiness and a grumpy attitude made him more of an accepted character than any other. Because of Luttapi's fame, the publication managed to feature him in strips of children's comic magazine Kalikurka and Magic Pot 2. Apart from Luttapi and Kuttusen, we have seen some other known characters like Vikraman and Muthu, two thieves in Run. They both are friends of Dakini and Kuttusen, but it is strictly limited to the mutual benefits they gain out of it. Another two common characters are Lotu Ludoku and Gulugulumal. They are two evil scientists who invents new tech and gadgets to destroy the world. But usually Vikraman and Muthu steals their invention for their purposes. Then comes Luttapi's only uncle, Puttalu. Everybody is afraid of Puttalu. But Puttalu does not have very significant role in Mayavi. Not on the good or on the bad side either. He just enjoys sleeping in his den. The original comic was in monochromatic style, with different dark red, orange, white and black color palettes for illustration. Still, the artwork and storytelling was brilliantly illustrated by the veteran illustrator Pradeep Sathe. In the early 1990s, the magazine was able to print completely in multicolor format, which attracted more readers visually. The coloration helped the mesmerizing characters to get into their iconic outfits. They did stand out in a way differently compared to every other comic characters in the magazine. The artwork and stylization was later done by other illustrators, which exaggerated the characters but always remained true to the original characterization done by Pradeep Sathe. Years later, Mayavi and Luttapi had to undergo some outfit changes due to complaints filed by some parents, which was a little difficult for the old readers because the new outfits did not cater any nostalgia for them. Balarama still managed to attract more readers. For 4 decades, people read Mayavi cheerfully. The characters in it are still loved by Keralites. The work begun by Balarama and N.M. Mohan was a pioneer to the comic world of Kerala. The characters and their name was introduced in several movies, reality TV shows. The characters had their own Balarama cave in amusement park of then Vigaland, which was taken over by Wonderla. These all show and implicates that these characters are here to stay and grow with the community of Kerala. But for the millennial generation, Mayavi and Ruttapi will always remain a part of their childhood.